All right, everybody, you ready for this one? Okay, so this is a little trick that you could do to avoid one-star reviews. Now, this particular clinic, they're at a 4.7. It's kind of sexy. It's good, right? 4.7 or higher. I'm going to tell you right now, most places aren't even going to bother looking at the reviews. 4.7, boom, they're there. Okay, they're like, get it. You start going to even 4.6 are probably just going to go. 4.5 to 4.1, they're probably going to be like, let me just make sure there's something weird not happening based off of my need for that particular event. Anything below that in the threes, usually 3.7 to higher, they're going to really dig in. Anything below 3.5, 3.4, they ain't going to go. Unless it is an emergency, they're not going to go. Okay, anyway, so let's go here. So this was handled well, but very generically, right? So again, this review, something about the dog and tapeworm, right? So it's a bad review. Now she responded within the same amount of time. That is good, high, and they give their number, right? So this is the trick, though. Okay, you have I have it blocked right here, but you have in 9 times out of 10. Okay, let's just say 8 times out of 10, but even if it's 5 times out of 10, I don't care, right? Usually you'll have the person's first name and you'll have the person's last name there. Okay, so what I suggest doing, okay, is it's not going to take you long to go into your database, into your practice management system, okay, or if you're working with us, you can go into VMG 360 because we usually integrate with the practice management system and it pulls right into the CRM system. So it's really easy to do this because it's in there. You can just pull it up with the name, boom, 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 ready to rock and roll and make a note and get to them via text, phone call, email, whatever you want. Much easier. Okay, so I invite you to check that out with VMG 360. But so here's what I suggest doing. You could pick up the phone, and if this was Mary Jones, I would call them and say, Mary, hi, I saw you had a little bit of rough review. Your dog had tapeworm, and there was this issue, and you start talking about that, and they're probably not going to be that happy. But if you reach out to them, okay, two things happen. Number one, address it there, okay, because right now all you can do in your response is be general. Okay, it's a general statement back right there. It's, and again, she didn't do anything wrong per se, right? She's just saying, hi, Claire, thank you for sharing your experience. You should always expect our team to be accurate or efficient. Very like blah, right? It's not bad. It's politically correct, right? But think about if she reached out and said, hey, Claire, hi, this is ABC Vet Clinic. We saw your review and wanted to address it. And maybe they did try reaching out, maybe they didn't. But what I would do is I would leave this and say, hi, Claire, listen, we just left you a message. We're really, really sorry about your experience. Please give us a call back. Boom, 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 boom. So now when I'm reading this, I'm like, wow, okay, this person reached back out to the person and tried to remedy the situation. Okay, that is proactivity. Okay, now that can be done, if you're not fully understaffed, I get that, or you can always outsource this type of situation to a vet concierge if they understand, just to set up a time for them to call you back at some point for the practice manager or whoever needs to call back to follow up with this, okay? But it's very important to do this. I'm not saying you're going to catch every single one, but when you call someone, you could fix this. And again, maybe they were just upset. People get very emotional, especially if it's a grim diagnosis, right? So, or bad news or miscommunication. And sometimes you can stop them in their tracks just by reaching out. But if someone else is reading, right? See this number 1, this little thing over here? That means someone else is reading this and putting like after it, right? Sometimes you'll see 3, 4, 10, 15, 20, right? Likes and it's usually with the ones where now a lot of people are seeing the same thing. If they see that you proactively reached out and said this, hey, Claire, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for taking my call. Based off our conversation, we'll get together a little bit later and see if we can remedy the situation or make it better or whatever it might be. But now when someone's reading this, they're going to go, oh, wow, they actually reached out, fixed it. Now, here's another cool thing that just might happen, okay? And there's another training for this, and there's an art to doing this, and it is possible, 100% possible. Will it happen all the time? No, it won't happen all the time, but it can happen, right? You reach out, and then once you speak to Claire and you get some clarity, and she's happy, then you could say, Claire, listen, we're a small business. We're a practice. When you leave a 1-star, maybe we deserved it and we probably did. I hope we fix this. If you could find it in your heart to leave us another honest review, okay, please let me know. Now, I'll tell you from experience, not with a vet, but experience with food and other places, I've had reviews left for me. Okay, I mean, where I've left a review for a restaurant, and then they actually got back to me because it was in my hometown, right? And they actually, the food got better and they made changes, and I went back and I updated it to a 4 from a 1. Okay, that is possible. It happens all the time. Here's another interesting thing. I remember for myself, I got a review from a bad client. A bad client. I got a review from a client, a bad review from a client, and what I did was I reached out to her, and there was just a miscommunication, and I didn't even know. She was just upset and a little introverted, and just didn't really tell me. And at the end of the day, we made a mistake. I reached out to her, and I found out what was wrong. And then after we fixed what we did and we explained things diplomatically to her, and everything worked out great, I said, listen, we work hard, we're a small business, and is there any way you could leave us another honest review? Or if you don't want to do that, just take that one off. If you think in your heart that we did what we could do to make it better. She switched that to a 5-star review. Okay? It is possible. Compassion, empathy, and listening. That's all that this takes. Okay? But if you do this and make it an effort, then you can turn some of these around, and it looks great. But just addressing by them knowing you're reaching out to them, and the person reads it and sees that you reached out, or hey, we just tried calling you, we got back to you, and then you address it specifically, goes such a long way. People expect ones once in a while, but they also they love to see you respond in an empathetic way to explain things. Like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I see why this might have happened. Maybe this person overreacted, this or that. Okay.